Hi there, this is Linda and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. In this video, I'm putting together my Project Life spread for the week of September 25th through October 1st, 2023, and I am working with the September Stories by the Month kit from Ali Edwards. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so this week I actually have quite a bit of photos. It's kind of funny how it fluctuates how many photos I have per week. Sometimes I have like no photos. I think like the week before this, I was really struggling to find photos to print. And then this week, and then I've already printed photos for the following week, and I had too many. I had to even do an insert that week. So it's just funny. I find that it like fluctuates so much. So this week I'm working with the September Stories by the Month from Ali Edwards, and I'm gonna go through the cards. So I did kind of look at these briefly when I was planning out my photos, and I printed this photo to go on here like that. And then let's see, it's gonna get all the cards together. They're kind of mixed up here. So the Stories by the Month kits this year in 2023 have a lot less cards than they've had in the past. So I tend to use pretty much all of them. Instead of doing so many cards, they have these papers. So first I'm going to look at my cards. I have one other 4x6 here, and so I'm going to use this one because I decided I'm going to use it as like a base for photos. And I'm going to skip that one. And then for the other cards, so I need one to be my title card. So that's going to be this one. And actually I really love how these two go together. And then there's the three things, which I've been doing every month to do a recap of the month. And then this one for memories. There wasn't really a good card this week or this kit for just plain journaling. But there's this paper. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down. And these are actually bigger than 3x4. They're 4 tall, but they're more than 3 wide because these papers are larger than the 6x8 size. But I'm going to just crop these into journaling card size, and I will probably use one of them on the spread and save the other ones in my stash. And I'm probably just going to crop them all down to be a true 3x4, thinking like how narrow that has to go. I think it's going to be like this. There we go. So that's how it would look as a 3x4 rather than as wide as it was, but I love that. So I think I'm just going to crop them all, even though I'm not going to use them all this week, because that way I can just put them into my stash as 3x4 cards, and that's much more useful to me. And you could leave these on that 6x8 paper if you'd like, and it would definitely make a great home for stories on a 6x8 outside the page protector. You could crop it down to be 6x8 inside the page protector. I believe that might work if you crop off the edges. I didn't really try to measure that out before I cropped it down, but I bet you could do that. It might be closer to the white lines on the edges, but that might be kind of fun. So I think I'm going to probably use the blue one, but I'm not sure yet. And then let's see. So I have this for like 5 stories this week. And then one of these will be for like maybe a longer story. I'm looking over at my planner. Let's see, this is the week of September 25th through October 1st. So this week, let's see, what did I have? I did my final December daily live. It was starting to be really fall weather, sweater weather. I wore sweaters to work. I wore a plaid flannel, and my coworker is wearing a similar plaid flannel. And we got a ton of comments like, oh, did you guys coordinate this? We did not. So we took a photo because it was kind of funny, but not great. Let's see, then what else did we do? I went to the movies. I think I have a photo of that. I went to see Dumb Money. So I have that photo. Here's another. I have a lot of photos this week. I went for a quick little walk. So I have 2 photos from that. And then I played some pickleball. I've been playing pickleball a lot lately, and I hadn't grabbed a photo, so I finally did. Then let's see, I went to dinner with a friend. I have that from that. I have this photo of me, and then my cat. So I think that's probably the way I'm gonna have it laid out. And then I printed, so this is the week I started doing the connections game from the New York Times. And I printed a couple of the ones from this week. I realized I wasn't getting them perfectly at this point in time. Now I get them perfectly pretty often, not all of the time. But it was kind of fun to look back and see that, you know, like I didn't even complete it correctly that day, which that does still happen to me, but I have gotten better at them. So if you are someone who has been wanting to play the connections game and tried it and found that it was very difficult, don't get discouraged. I really recommend sticking with it and trying it, because I have learned kind of the things that they do. They sort of repeat ideas. And some of them are fresh for sure, but it definitely helps having that practice. It's similar to the crossword puzzle. I've been doing the New York Times crossword puzzle for, I don't know, at least a decade. And I can sometimes finish, you know, a Sunday by myself. I don't always finish them. I often get stuck, but I can make it pretty far, and sometimes I can finish it. And I couldn't do that when I first started. I couldn't, you know, I think I struggled even with the easier days, but it's just one of those things that like the practice definitely does matter. So all of that to say that if you have seen me sharing the connections game and you are hesitant to try it, give it a try. It's definitely fun and worth, you know, the few minutes it takes in the morning to kind of get your brain moving. I think it's just great for you to do. If you don't know what I'm talking about, over on my Instagram, I have been sharing daily. So the New York Times has a daily puzzle available called Connections, and they are free. You just have to Google the New York Times Connections, and you can only play like the current days at a time. So you can't go back and play the archives, but every day there's a fresh one that you can play. And I have been sharing my results, not what the answer is, but how well I did on Instagram on my stories every day. And I've gotten so many people starting to play the game, responding to me. So it's just been a ton of fun. So anyways, this was the week I started that. So I wanted to use this card to document a couple of those. And I had a little story from September. So it didn't explain it as I was going, but I wanted to cut these out, and I'm going to use these for a few, just to kind of embellish on top of some of the photos. Trying to decide, I wanted to put this here, but I don't want to cover my shoes. I think I'm going to put it there. And then this one says transitions. I'm wondering where I should put this one. This is upside down. Well, that's funny. Let's see, transitions. Maybe I could put this right here on this waterfall. This is not a great photo, so I'm okay kind of covering it. And then let's see. This kit also has these vellum circles. I'm not going to use them on the spread because you can see my spread is full, but these they fit okay in a 3x4. They definitely fit on a 4x6 in like centered, or even if you want to put them like next to each other. So these would be super fun to use in Project Life and cut them up. I've been saving these to use in something else all year. And then there's the vellum paper. I'm not going to use that one this time, but it's very pretty. And then this card I'm not going to use. Let's see what else is there. There are some word phrase strips. So I probably will use those and pull some from my stash. And then there are these chipboard pieces. So I'm not going to use these either. But these chipboard pieces, there's some super fun ones this week. Let's see, the hard and easy may work for this story. This week's lovely. Let's see here. So I'm just going to kind of go through these and see if any really makes sense. And like, so these already have something on them. I might, you know, put maybe something on top of those, like a word phrase strip, or, you know, the asterisks I think would be cute. Like, I like that. And then I'm going to put some words on there because that is kind of got a box to add stuff. And then this one, I think I want to put an asterisk like that. And I think I'm going to use brads too to kind of hold those down. So I'm going to need to go pull those out of my stash. But right now I'm just kind of thinking through my thought process for doing this whole thing. So then there's the Monday. So let's see, we have the days of the week here. Well, the initials for the days of the week. Now it'd be super fun to put these on photos from every day, but I don't know that I have a photo from every day because I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, so these, I started this on Friday, so I guess I could put that would be there. I did go to dinner with my friends, so this was Wednesday. So I'm just going to label things just to start. And then let's see. On Saturday, I don't actually have any photos from Saturday. And then like most of these are from Sunday. Though this looks like this is the rail trail. So when did I do that? So this is Tuesday. This was Friday in the office. Okay, so I didn't label. I don't know what date that was. It was probably Thursday, but I'm not sure. This could be any day in the office, which would probably be Tuesday or Wednesday. So I already have those days taken care of. I guess I can make this one Saturday. Yeah, I don't know that I want to do that because it's kind of forcing it too much. So I'm not going to use these on this spread. I do like the idea, but I want to use them all in one spread. So I'm going to save them. And then let's see, I do like these asterisks. So I'm going to use one of these somewhere. Let's see, ready for this change. That would be for the leaves changing. I like that. Making memories, telling the story. Hello, routine, welcome back. I guess I can put that for going to the office. These I love if I had like a large quote to stamp, but I don't. This one, I think I'm going to do some stamping at the top here to stamp like September. Even this is September memories, but maybe I'll move some of the cards around, or I could do the around here. Matches that. I don't love this year that the stamp matches some of the cards because like it's great for being able to, you know, if you love the card and you don't have the digital, use it again. But at the same time, like I don't want to stamp it again on the same spread. You know what I mean? I do like these numbers. I could stamp numbers in there, but then again, that was so close to this card that I don't want to do it. So, okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and put you on fast forward and get the rest of the spread put together. Okay, so I start with my title card, which I tend to do pretty much every week, but I added a gold label onto here, and then I'm adding the date with my rolling date stamp. Just a kind of a PSA, my rolling date stamp ends at the end of 2023. So if you use one frequently, you might want to check and see if you need to order a new one, which I did order a new one for 2024. For whatever reason, I had two separate ones and they both end at the end of 2023. So I went over to my stash and found some brads to attach these tags that I cut out of one of the 3x4 cards. And so you can see me using my paper piercer there, and I added the tag with a with one of the brads on here. And then I took one of the word phrase strips that said a September to remember, and I cut the words out so I could put them stacked on that tag. The chipboard piece of the quotes I thought looked really good on top of there. And looking at it now, I almost wish I put it on there, but it just didn't really make sense because a September to remember is not a quote. And I didn't really want to use one of the quotes without the other one. So I ended up leaving it off. And then I've moved on to this tag here. So on this one, I added one of the chipboard asterisks. And I, again, adhered it with one of the brads, which I think I haven't yet done in the video. But then I added some stamped alphas to write changing leaves because the tag itself said currently experiencing. And then I just journaled about the leaves changing. Just a quick little note on it. This was a picture of our local rail trail, and you could see the leaves were still kind of green, but there were a few that were starting to turn and falling on the ground. Now I'm moving on to the rest of my journaling cards. This one from the 6x8 paper that I cropped down, I decided to go with the tan one because I felt like it coordinated best with everything else that I was using and where I was going to put it on the spread. And then I decided to add the chipboard piece that said this week's gratitudes on the top. I wasn't originally planning on doing a gratitude list, but when I was looking through all of my small stories from the week, I felt like a lot of them could be framed as gratitudes. And whenever I can frame something as a gratitude, I really like to do that because that's one of the benefits of scrapbooking for me, is to really get that positive spin on things in my life and really see the good in everything. And practicing gratitude is a big piece of that. So I did decide to use the gratitudes for that list. And then this card here that I'm stamping right now says September 3 things. I'm doing a highlight of 3 of the big points of September. So for me, I took a trip to Long Island for Labor Day weekend, which was the very beginning of September. And then I had a December daily feature, month-long feature on the Allie Edwards blog and Instagram account, which took up a lot of my time and was just a very fun experience this September. And then I kind of struggled to come up with a third one, but I decided to highlight pickleball, which is a game that I started playing this year for the first time and really played a lot during September. As we're moving into the colder months, I'm going to have to put this hobby aside until next spring, but it was something that was super fun and a huge part of my September. This September memories card I used really for memories from this week. So this is a list of 5 stories from this week, and off camera I am looking at my Hobonichi cousin for this week to see what happened. What I'm doing is looking at the stories, and any of the ones that can be framed as gratitudes, I am writing on the gratitude list instead. And then the other ones that are more factual or just, notes about the week, I am adding onto that September memories card. I decided to use that gratitude chipboard not only because I like to frame my stories from gratitudes, but I just want to use more of the kit. One of my goals in working with kits on my Project Life spreads is to use up my supplies. And for these Stories by the Month kits, I really try to get one spread out of them, one weekly spread, and then the rest of the kit goes into my stash. And my goal is to not put a lot of supplies into my stash. I really want to be using more than is coming in. And that is something that I'm really trying to focus on a lot more. Now, I do want to make a note that these kits are pretty full of supplies, although they are not as large as some kits from other brands. The price point matches that, and you can make this kit work for an entire month. You really can, especially if you create some of your own cards using the chipboard or the stamp or the word phrase strips. But for me, I have a lot of products coming in and a lot of products in my stash, so my goal is to use more products. And if that is not your goal, I totally understand if you want to stretch these products, but unfortunately, I'm not going to provide good examples for that because my goal is really to use everything up. So for this 4x6 card here, like I talked about in the intro, I was talking about the connections game for New York Times. So I adhered the 2 screenshots from this week on there. And then I added the third one of the tags, again, adding one of the brads on there that from my stash. And then I added a word phrase strip from the kit and a chipboard asterisk from the kit. I don't know about you guys, but I am obsessed with chipboard asterisk. I know that they come on the chipboard set every so often. Allie uses this die, and I think it's one of my favorites. I love the half circles, I love the asterisk, and I love the small circles, and those quotation marks are super fun too. I'm adding chipboard pieces onto a few of the other photos, and then on this photo here of me taking photos with my film camera, I added one of the word phrase strips, and then I went to my stash and pulled out another word phrase strip sheet so that I could do a stack of 3 word phrase strips, which you guys must know by now is one of my favorite ways to use word phrase strips. I'm sorry for the shifting camera. I used my phone to film these videos, and for whatever reason, I got 2 phone calls in the middle of this video that I had to answer. Only a few minutes apart, so that's why it shifted a couple of times, because as soon as I got off one phone call and started filming again, it happened again. Now I'm just going ahead and slipping everything into the pockets and calling this spread done. I really, really love how this spread came out. I've really loved the Stories by the Month kits this year. I just recently received my December Stories by the Month kit, and I have to say that I think the 2023 Stories by the Month kits were probably my favorite ones that have happened so far, and I can't wait to see what these kits look like in 2024. I'm just trimming a few of these cards down just so that they fit perfectly into the pockets. You can see a couple of those photos I did not add any embellishments on, which is totally fine. I like having that balance between the embellished photos and the unembellished photos. And overall, I'm just really thrilled with how this spread came out. Here's a look at that final finished project. And as always, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.